All right, so this plant again is cultured cunyaza, just one that really doesn't give us much trouble. There is some reports over the decades and years of specific instances where this plant has poisoned animals, but if you're trying to identify it, that's kind of an atypical specimen there. It's only about 8 inches tall, maybe. Typically, they'd be up taller than your knee, kind of growing in a spike kind of formation. It's got very sticky leaves as well. If you feel of it, they're sticky and gummy. And goat head is one that, cattle really don't eat it much of it because it doesn't taste good. It it grows very close to the ground, so cattle have a hard time eating that close to the ground. But sheep and goats can eat a lot closer to the ground, and they will get on that from time to time, and it will cause what we referred to earlier as photosensitivity of the secondary kind. Got one here we referred to a minute ago, silverleaf nightshade or purple nightshade. Silver because of the leaves, purple because of the flowers. Some of these flowers in some species are actually white, but the vast majority of them are purple. We talked about the seeds being the most toxic part of that. These seeds are just little round pods, and that's probably the worst part. Again, very, very fortunate that this plant is not palatable to livestock because there's a lot of it around, but they just won't seek it out and eat it. It's got stickers, thorns on the stem. That helps as well. Again, as we mentioned, about the only time you're going to have trouble with this is if you pin cattle up on it inside a corral or something overnight, or if you spray it with a 2,4-D type product and it causes those leaves to become more palatable because of what the chemical does. So anytime you spray a herbicide on weeds, particularly if you know they're toxic, you should wait until those leaves have become dried out and desiccated. Usually takes about a week or so.
A couple of our weeds that we have in this area that probably caused the most problems over the most years would be, one would be loco. It's Astragalus mellissimus or woolly loco. It's a plant that comes up, it's a perennial plant. It comes up in the fall, and it really, if we have enough fall moisture and winter moisture, it'll really blossom out and get a lot bigger in the spring and late spring. And if it's a real dry, bad year, and the livestock don't have anything else green to eat, sometimes they'll get on loco. And once they do get on it, it's a very addictive plant. It's it has something in it that addicts it. The main poison that it has in it is Swainsonine that causes the problems, and it does take quite a bit of it. They have to eat, I think, like 90% of their body weight for it to kill them. But they'll start showing symptoms way before that. They'll, be kind of listless. They'll start looking for, just looking for the loco to eat. They kind of have a wild look in their eye, be kind of unmanageable if you have to pin them and stuff. So that's one of the big problems with loco. Another plant that's really closely kin to it is called Garbancio, and it's an annual plant. It's a Astragalus wootenii, I believe, and it has kind of the same growth habit as woolly loco, except it is an annual plant, and it just comes up in the fall and grows through the spring, and pretty much it's all gone by the middle of May or 1st of June. It's all dried up and kind of blown away by then. But once again, it has pretty much the same symptoms as loco, and and livestock will kind of eat it in the same situations.